So we're finally out of lockdown, and everyone's probably literally so unfit that they have no cardiovascular or muscular definition for just staying up to 4 a.m. watching Netflix and eating all night. Or B, you've just gotten like really big. C, you've gotten really skinny. Or D, if you were lucky enough to actually have access to working equipment to train. Or E, all of the above, maybe. But if you're in any of these, don't worry. I'm here to give you a few solutions on how to get back into a rhythm of training and getting lean for the summer, because I know summer shredding, inverted commas, is a thing, and everyone loves to look good in the summer, loves to look good on the beach. And, just for the 2 nice days in Ireland the year, it might be effective because, since I don't think festivals and all like that are going to happen. But let me think. How to get shredded or lean, or how to lose weight, or even if you're the opposite, where you want to put on muscle or gain a bit of size. But let me start off with the simple one, because I think everyone wants to lose a bit of timber after 6 months of a harsh lockdown and a Christmas and all that as well. So let me think. So number one, I think everyone knows this. It's like your bread and butter. That's to create a calorie deficit, which is eating below your maintenance calories. So take me for example. So I'm about 75 kilos at the moment. My maintenance is probably about 2,900 calories, I'd say. Considering, but it depends on your activity levels. Like if you're an athlete, like that'll be maybe the same as me or a little bit more, or depends on your metabolism as well. Or if you're kind of like sluggish and lives a very sedentary lifestyle where you don't really do much, it could be a little bit lower, but 2,600. But regardless, you'll lose kind of like you have to find your kind of base point, and then after that, you drop a couple of hundred calories. The rule of thumb is that you drop 500 calories, but I don't really agree with that because, well, I do. Well, reasonably I do, but I like when I cut weight or try to be lean, I like to kind of slowly do it. Like I'd rather than whole marathon, not a sprint kind of thing, because I'd rather like feel good while losing weight rather than like doing one big drastic cut where I feel like shit, I won't be able to maintain it. So for me personally, like if I was to cut, I like to do say a 200 calorie deficit and then kind of cut down over time, and then once I kind of reach a level where I'm happy at, I'll maintain that. But obviously, my goals are different because I'm competing in a show in September, so I'm kind of constantly have to go beyond have to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. But for me, so say you could be different. Say if you're 90 kilo, your maintenance could be a little bit higher than mine. So yours could be 3,000. But the only way to know what your maintenance is to track your food, to track what your maintenance is. And then if you eat, like say 3,000 calories and you go down a weight, that means you need to increase to maintain your calories so your weight doesn't change. Or vice versa. If your weight goes up, that means you've eaten a bit too much and you need to lower them again. So it's just simple stuff like that. I recommend my Fitness Pal because my Fitness Pal is it's one of the most accurate trackers I think. I seen the Fitbit one that most people use, and it doesn't really make sense. That doesn't really work for me. I much prefer my Fitness Pal. You can scan the food labels, and it kind of gives you can put in your stats, and it kind of works off there. But yeah, that's basically a starting point. You just know what your calories are, how much you need to eat, how much you should avoid, and stuff like that. And then macronutrients then will probably be the second most important. They're not really important, to be honest. I like to personally, as long as you hit your protein intake, which the science or the the rule of thumb is 1 gram per pound of body weight. So just multiply what you are in kilos by two, essentially, and that's kind of what you're meant to be eating. And then I like to fluctuate my carbs and fats. Now, obviously, I on a high carb intake because I do some training, so it's more energy for me. But and carbs are a lot more attractive to the eye. Like, well, carbs have lower calories than fats. Or fats have 9 grams, 9 calories per gram of fat. So that's why a lot of people typically have lower fat diets, lower-ish, should I say. So yeah, and the thing is, carbs are like your main source of fuel. So that's what you need to provide energy, unless you're in the keto diet, where you have no carbs at all, you just provide them fats, which is a totally different topic altogether. But no, I wouldn't recommend the keto diet, by the way. Um, and yeah, so basically, I like to have protein and kind of be flexible with carbs and fats, but it depends on the end of the day. Like, yeah, then when you go into your macronutrients, so it's your carbs, proteins, fats. So your protein is 4 calories per gram, and carbs is 4 calories per gram, while fats is 9. And alcohol's a tricky one now. Alcohol's 7 grams or 7 calories per gram. And I know drinking is a big thing in Ireland, so, and I know the pubs are back open, so I can't really be like, don't be drinking, but because realistically people are going to be drinking. But my advice would be, if you're going to drink alcohol, have kind of spirits like, say, rum, like Captain Morgan's, or vodka. Um, like, try avoid the beers and the stouts and the wine, because like that really does like added unnecessary calories. But if you do insist on like drinking alcohol that night, like, try keep your protein intake very high and keep your carbs and fats moderately low. And if you're working out that day, it's best to just do high intensity cardio, because it kind of fucks up your kind of fucks up your body the next day. If on that day, because like, say if you're like obviously alcohol impacts your recovery. So say if you're going to go for a max, personal best today, it's best just to just not do that and wait like a few days after you drink, because if you like do that, hit your PB, and then go drinking, like, it's your recovery will be impacted, so you won't be able to hit that again like straight away. Well, for most people you can't. So I'd recommend just a bit of cardio, and I know a lot of people like to do like a pre-body workout, or do like a pump, makes it look as nice as possible. But funny enough, for lads, like I often say you should train legs. Funny enough, before you should go on a night out, because like legs kind of, it increases the, what's the word? It improves the flow of testosterone in the body. Because if you're doing like arms, like, you can, yeah, sure, you're gonna get pumped for like an hour, but it's gonna like make them look really flat and sore. But if you do legs, it's like you're gonna have a best bang for your buck. You're working the most muscle groups, which in turn increase your testosterone. So I know girls as well. Girls like to do like leg and glute pumps and all that kind of stuff. So we're similar but different. But yeah, then basically, if you're drinking alcohol, just then maybe train. If you don't want to train, if you're in bits, don't train the next day. But like most weekends in Irish gyms, all gyms close like early afternoon. So if you have a good gym that actually stays open till like 10 o'clock, then on the weekends, then maybe go in the evening. But don't obviously kill yourself. You're going to be a little bit hazy. And then, yeah, that's calories, alcohol, macronutrients, micronutrients. Of course, that's like your vitamins and minerals. You can get them from supplements, or if you eat a variety of fruit and veg, that should be perfectly fine as well. Obviously, kind of eating what you like, rather than, because if you have a diet or eat foods that you like, you're more likely to stick to that, rather than just eating shit and blown up and ruining all your progress. So it's better to have a diet that, I wouldn't even call it a diet, because diets are like things that are like temporary. But if you have like, it's a lifestyle, not lifestyle, or like a way of eating is like a lifestyle, or lifestyle that's similar to your eating. So if you're eating relatively foods that you enjoy, like, say it's better to have, okay, let me take this for example, say it's better to have 80% whole foods, 20% treats every day, rather than having 100% whole foods 5 days a week and then 100% shit food then on the weekends, because like you're basically cancelling all the progress you made during the week. So I would not recommend that. I much prefer the implementation of having a small treat maybe once a day, and then having all my whole food sources. Like, but like, I think as well though, like, we are creatures of habit. Like, after all, I don't even crave much sweets or junk anymore. I just feel like shit. Like, it's kind of like, it's like a study with your gut bacteria. Like, what you eat reflects or represents like how your stomach reacted. Like, the gut bacteria reflects your mood. Like, you ever like eat something shit and you have like really bad brain fog, or you really bad like really bad mood, or you're in a food coma. So it's just load of sodium and just kind of like chemicals and ingredients you just don't really need in your body. And then like other and like at the end of the day, it's all about health. Like your health is number one. Like health is why we're doing this. And like I know, like some people could look good, but they might feel like shit. And at the end of the day, like healthy mind, healthy body, healthy mind. Kind of, it's like a yin yang kind of thing. And then that's basically like the micronutrients. I think I touched on that. To create a calorie deficit, just find your maintenance and to go 200 calories over. But obviously, if you're trying to build muscle and put on size, I wouldn't recommend the whole seafood diet because, well, like I seafood, not actually fish diet, but because I think like when people bulk, they tend to like lose a bit of their consistency with how they eat, and they just like say fuck and eat whatever they want, which obviously you don't want because the thing is why I don't really like bulking is because the longer you bulk and you put on all this muscle, like you're going to reach your body fat after a while where your hormones might not be optimized. So your testosterone might be a little bit like lowered because you have all this all this estrogen flowing around your fat cells. And when you do a drastic cut, you're going to lose a bit of that muscle that you build because the longer you're in a deficit, the less energy you're going to have and the less output and performance you're going to put in the gym or wherever it is. So you're going to like lose a bit of your strength, which in turn, it's like, yeah, like it's not going to benefit. I really think it's just if you want to, I think recomp or main gain is my favorite way of kind of working out or dieting. But yeah, I don't particularly. I'm not a big fan of the bulk cut because like it just goes from obviously if you do it right, it's grand, but to the unexperienced person, it can really like it can be horrible because like you're gonna feel like shit when you're like big and fat, and then when you cut down, you're going to be ages in a deficit. You're not going to make any gains. You're not going to like make any progress. So honestly, I think the whole like obviously get a coach. Like I have a coach and I think he's brilliant. But if you don't really know what you're doing, I would recommend getting a coach. But yeah, and then like there's not really much. Like obviously cardio is important. Like cardio is a tool that you use to lose weight. You shouldn't overly depend on cardio because cardio, like say if you do HIIT cardio, so high intense interval training, that's involving like going 100%, like killing yourself. Like it really messes up your central nervous system and will impact your recovery if you were to do weights. So I wouldn't really recommend HIIT training unless you are an athlete already or you know you play a sport or whatever it is. But I think if you're just like your overall goal is to lose weight or be bigger, I wouldn't recommend that. But on the contrary, I'd recommend a bit low intense steady state or medium intense steady state, like maybe swimming, hiking, basketball, volleyball, kind of, tennis. Even like I wouldn't recommend like football as well. I'm not actually wouldn't recommend running that much because that kind of would impact your legs, but just kind of stuff like that. Like even just a lot like very non-strenuous training like cardio. Like it's obviously needs good heart, lowers your heart rate, live longer, yourself. But I think, in my opinion, like cardio, you shouldn't overdo it. Like use it as a tool more so as a don't be dependent on cardio. Like if you eat like shit one day, like just don't eat as much the next day and do a little bit of cardio. You don't need to like spend 3 hours going for a run to burn off like 2 slices of pizza. You know what I mean? Like it's all about balance as well. And yeah, like, and then if I was to recommend training, like it depends on your goals as well. Like I was like, if you actually want to look good and not just like skinny or skinny fat or whatever, I recommend resistance training because that's going to like show the muscle and like resistance training, like lifting weights is like the best way to build muscle. Like while calisthenics and kind of body weight exercises and like running, sprinting, whatever does have a slight growth on muscle. I think the studies that according to science anyway, like resistance training and doing compound exercises, which is like squats, deadlifts, overhead presses, pull-ups, benching, rows, yada yada yada, they're like overall the best bang for your buck for like maintaining a good kind of figure. And after that, like once you kind of follow those protocols, like it's to make a training plan, it kind of suits your needs. So if you go to the gym 3 times a week, you're probably better off doing like a full body kind of split because you're kind of hitting your muscle groups 3 times a week. Like 2 or 3 times a week is the rule of thumb on what you should really do with hitting and your body parts and training. And then if you're going 4 times a week, do like an upper lower, or if you're going 5 or 6 times a week, You can do push pull legs, upper lower. You can do push pull legs. But important, another thing that's very overlooked is rest, and I am a bit of a sucker for this because I don't take enough rest days because I just love training. Because I feel like when I'm like at home, I just get really annoyed and sluggish and just like irritated. That's why I like to go out and do shit. But even if you take a rest day, like do something, like don't just sit in your ass, like just go out and maybe take a cardio day, or maybe you could just, I don't know, go for a hike or go for a swim in the sea, or whatever it is. Like for me, I like to do rock climbing or boxing or swimming or anything like that when I'm not going to the gym that day, because I'm still kind of getting my heart rate up a little bit, but it's not really impacting my recovery per se. And yeah, like obviously, if you know how to train yourself, ask a don't, like, you can work off your own initiative. But if you actually need help and you're genuinely new to training, I recommend getting a PT. Like I have a PT just because like I have a show and all that. But like if I had to, I could just train myself. I can, like I can fucking, I can give advice as well because I kind of know what to do. So I can give people advice and stuff like that, but I know myself how to create my own program. I know what works for me. I know what foods, I know what training, I know what works and what doesn't. But it's kind of like experimenting with different things. Like obviously, I've had a few years now of training experience, so I kind of know, like if I know I need to change something, I can readjust. While if you're only new to this, you might not know as much. So it's best to kind of like just get someone to kind of help you out, really, because obviously we all need a helping hand. Like it's not going to hurt our egos, or no one really cares. Like literally no one cares if you need a bit of help or whatever, because we all need help, because we all start somewhere. What's the saying? It's like every amateur or every professional is once an amateur, and I think it's every professional is once an amateur. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all have to start somewhere. And yeah, and I'm kind of like, I don't really have anything written down, so I'm kind of off the top of my head here. But is there anything? I think I've said the main basics. Like what would I recommend? Like post workout, pre workout meal, like what supplements maybe. Like I could talk about supplements for a little bit. Like the only one you kind of really need is creatine, whey, fish oil, multivitamins, because like obviously if you're on a keto diet or you don't eat much fiber, fruits and vegetables, multivitamins will help you supplement. Like keep in mind it's called supplement for a reason. You're not meant to supplement what you lack in. Don't be like relying on these things. And fish oil as well, if you're not a big fish person, because I know a lot of people absolutely hate fish. So that's good for your joints, especially if you're really into resistance training or like really active. It really will help your joints over time. And creatine, so that increases your ATP, which is your adenosine triphosphate. That's your like main energy source. So that kind of replenishes like that energy that's lost. So say, for example, you're going for 10 reps or 12 reps or whatever it is on a squat. Well, essentially, when you start to fail at like 9 or 10, the creatine will kind of help you get that extra 1 or 2 reps. And like a lot of misconceptions about creatine is that it makes you bloated and puffy and it bloats you. But the thing is, the water is held in the way it holds water, it's held in your muscle rather than like, your fat. So it's actually not too bad. And like there is another misconception that increases your DHT, which is reflected on hair loss. But I think there's been studies to prove that that's actually not really the case. But like it's only like if you're going bald already, it kind of just speeds it up, but it's not going to make you bald if you don't have the gene to not go bald, if that makes sense. And then whey protein, like powder, like I would recommend that for people because it's very cheap. Like if you compare like 100 grams of whey protein compared to 100 grams of chicken, like there's, it's pretty conclusive that whey protein is a lot cheaper. But of course, like you'd rather have organic food sources as well. But like have whey protein if you want something sweet. Like if you want chocolate flavor, if you want chocolate but you don't want to eat a chocolate bar, just have whey protein instead. It's kind of simple substitutes, but it tastes the same, but it kind of goes a long way. And I know a lot of people hate protein powder as well, so just have it with milk. Makes it honestly a game changer. Like we have to keep in mind the calories in milk as well. And yeah, like body fat percentages, like a lot of people you kind of, no one really, you shouldn't really guess your body fat percentage because a lot of people don't get it right. A lot of people think they're skinnier than they are, but like for women, they're obviously going to be a bit heavier than men. Well, not heavier, but a lot, their body fat percentage going to be higher because the role in society, not the role in society, the role in their biological role of reproducing, like they're going to hold a lot more tissue and hold a lot more estrogen, which holds a lot of kind of adipose tissue. While testosterone, like your low testosterone, like yeah, like the men should be around. They shouldn't be really lower than single digit body fat or double digit body fat because once you kind of get to the low territories of single digit body fat, kind of fucks up your hormones, messes up with like you feel like shit. You really feel really hungry, and your body's just a bit all over the place. So I think healthy men should be around, I don't know, maybe 10 to 25%, and then women then would be about 20 to 35% maybe for me. But I don't know. Obviously, if you have you can dispute that if you want. That's just kind of me going off my own kind of experience, should I say? And then water. Actually, yeah, water is very important. So I don't know why I forgot about water, but water as well. Water is very trust me, I used to be a sucker for not drinking water. I think especially if you take creatine as well, you should definitely drink a lot of water. And like, how much do you need? I think if you exercise, I think you should need about 3 or 4 liters a day. I think 2 liters is fine. You could possible, but I think below that's just not going to be sufficient. Like obviously you can get water and fruits and veg, and if you really don't like water, you could just like have like flavored water or like a 0 calorie drink, such as like a Monster or a Sprite Zero or Fat Club Zero or whatever it is. But I think it is overall just best to have water. And I like you'll definitely notice if you don't drink enough water, you'll definitely notice drink. Like I know it is annoying having to pee more often, but you will notice like your mood and your change of energy and like how much of a pep in the step you have. Like compared to when I used to not drink that much water, I used to be really tired and just like groggy because I used to be training loads and loads and loads, barely drink water. But now I'm like always have a bottle in my hand. And a good habit I like to have is have a big container. Don't have a 500 ml bottle. Like have say a 2 liter bottle if you can, because you have that beside you at work or whatever. You're more likely to sip away on it throughout the day. That's just another kind of like hack I have for all you out there. But no, that's water. And then I don't think you should really bother. I think that's like if you're working like, with diuretics and all that, I wouldn't really bother. Like if you're not drinking water to make yourself look skinnier and stuff like that, I wouldn't really bother with that, because overall, if you withhold water from your body, it's going to hold more sodium. As you have no water, your body needs water to basically function. So your body's going to hold onto this lack of water you have. So you're going to even look even puffier. So it's best to drink water, so you flushes yourself out. So you're constantly, it makes you look skinnier essentially, especially in the face, because I think face weight is the most prevalent when you add weight onto yourself. And then sleep is another, like if I were to put down like, your food, of course, your diet, your food, your nutrition, and then your training, that would be second, and then I put sleep. Sleep is very, very, and mental state. Like mental state is another important, but sleep as well. Sleep, like I read the book Why You Sleep by Matthew Walker, and it really does like change your mindset and how you sleep. Like I've only realized how important sleep is in the last few years. Like you definitely, I think as well, if you're up to 2 a.m. and you're in work at 7, like you're gonna notice how tired you are. Like, but if you sleep for 8 hours, like you'll know that you won't feel like shit. Like, and I think like you're prone to more illnesses when you don't sleep, and then you're not going to be you're going to have to rely on caffeine. You're going to have to rely on all these different things, and then you get really bad food cravings. Which, of course, if you want to lose weight, this is not optimal. And like as your body's going to stress when you don't sleep, it's going to hold a lot more cortisol. It's going to like that's your stress hormone. So like it's going to like change your leptin and ghrelin hormones and yada yada yada. I'm getting all to the science of it now, but sleep you out. So basically, long story short, get some sleep. Even if I don't know if this is actually true. I don't think you can catch up on sleep, but when I used to like sleep, like say 4, 5, 6 hours, I'd have a nap for like an hour to catch up on that sleep. So I'd catch up on the missing hours that I had. That's what I do. I don't know if that's actually sufficient, but works for me. But like, you shouldn't actually nap before when you train, because it does, like, your body still kind of this deep kind of groggy state. So I think if you're tired before you go train, just drink caffeine a little bit earlier than you would normally, like a pre-workout. And stress, yes, stress is very underlooked. While stress isn't the most important thing in the world, because at the end of the day, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, you will eventually lose weight. But stress as well, stress makes it a bit more stubborn to lose fat, because cortisol, stress, it ties in together. And then once you tie in stress with your added problems, you're gonna like hold on, like your body's in the stress where it wants to hold on to this fat, because your body's like struggling to, well, the cortisol, it is your stress hormone. It does like hold, it makes you hold water and put your body under tension. So your body's not really thinking about losing weight while it's in a physical or emotional state. And of course, it increases your heart rate, increases like your risk of diabetes and stuff like that. So really, just don't get stressed. Like, I recommend, I know I say it before, it sounds like a broken record, but I recommend meditating and deep breathing, kind of realizing that it's not going to matter in a few days. It's going to be fine. Like, the worst thing that could possibly happen to you isn't really that bad, to be honest. And yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up there, because I'm talking for like 27 minutes without even realizing. But no, I will cut it there, because I think I've talked enough already. This is my first kind of fitness podcast, so I'm going to just, I don't know, I might elaborate. I might like kind of go in detail, like the role of protein and the role of, because I actually, like, I have 2 courses done on nutrition and PTing and stuff like that. So I kind of, and I do know, I do have a good bit of general knowledge on that kind of topic. But yeah, no, if anything, like, I can even, like, if anyone wants to send me requests on what to talk about in regards to fitness or mental well-being, because I feel like a lot of my podcasts are like kind of human behavior and human psychology and stuff like that, but it's kind of nice to change up once in a while. But yeah, I will wrap it up there and hope to talk to you soon. Cheers.